Opening narration. Welcome back to Beautiful Spy Wars, an intelligence thriller audiobook series. In today's episode, a deadly assassination unfolds at BEXCO in Busan. A former intelligence officer becomes the target of a ruthless killer known as Hyena. Behind the scenes, hidden codes and covert operations point toward a far larger conspiracy. Tension rises, and the clock is ticking. Let the story begin. Episode 30. Hyena poisons former agent on Kang-min at BEXCO. They say a biometric security equipment seminar and exhibition are being held right now at BEXCO in Busan. Biometric security equipment? Fingerprints, voice prints, veins, irises, things like that. This smells suspicious. What kind of smell do you mean? Up until now, the two former agents who were killed were both connected to biometric security companies, weren't they? That's right. So I wonder if there are any former National Intelligence Service personnel involved in this exhibition as well. That's true. But could it simply be overheated competition among biometric security companies lately? We can't rule that out either. Let's keep all possibilities open. For now, we should conduct a quiet internal investigation nearby, without disrupting the event. And if, by any chance, something goes wrong, we move in immediately. But if the operatives notice that we've been deployed, it'll only make apprehending them harder. So let's focus on observing trends and movements among the biometric security firms around BEXCO. Understood. Let's proceed that way for now. BEXCO, Busan. As you entered the corridor inside BEXCO, security officers in black suits were inspecting suspicious individuals and checking their belongings. A screening officer stood alert with an earpiece in place. A walk-through metal detector had been installed. A female officer conducted polite but firm inspections. At that moment, a quick service delivery man walked in, carrying a large potted plant. How can I help you? Delivery for a flower pot. Where should I put it? You're a bit late with the delivery. Who needs to sign for this? He pulled out a receipt slip from the pouch on his waist and asked. The security officer carefully examined the flower pot from all angles. He double-checked to make sure there was nothing suspicious about it. Leave the pot here. Then head up to the customer support office on the second floor. And speak with Assistant Manager Kim. Do I go this way? No, that direction is closed off. Go that way instead. And when you leave, go out the opposite way. The delivery man followed the corridor. Then quietly slipped into an empty office. Quickly, he took off his delivery vest and changed into clean casual clothes. From the other end of the hall, a senior security officer approached. He was carefully reviewing the event floor plan in his hand. "Has the emergency stairwell been fully checked?" "Yes, we're almost done." "And make sure that flower pot is placed inside, along with the ice sculpture as soon as it arrives." "Yes, the second sector has already been screened and sealed. And nothing unusual has been detected in the central control room either." "Have the basement mechanical and HVAC rooms been checked?" "They're being screened now. We'll attach the seal as soon as we finish." The senior officer jabbed at the floor plan with his finger, scolding sharply. "The event is about to begin. I told you to always think about possible contingencies first." He suddenly kicked the guard in the shin. Hey, be thorough. And hurry it up. What do you think you're doing sealing things now?" "Yes, sir. I'm sorry." The officer rubbed his sore shin and answered with a dissatisfied expression. The exhibition hall at BEXCO in Busan was packed with people. Right in front of the main entrance stood a large sign reading, "Biometric Security Equipment Expo." Rows of demonstration devices were neatly lined up. Clear acrylic panels displayed cleanly printed text and diagrams. Inside the main conference hall, a presenter stood before a massive screen, giving an enthusiastic explanation while demonstrating the equipment. Colorful beams from projectors lit up the ceiling. Various graphics, operating principles, and system processes appeared and disappeared on the screen. Pointing with a red laser pointer, the presenter explained, "The iris forms a unique individual pattern within the first 1 to 2 years after birth, and does not change for the rest of one's life. It contains around 270 distinctive characteristics, making it the most accurate method for identifying a person. In particular, since it is a non-contact method, it causes no discomfort, and identity verification can be completed within 1 second." "What about identical twins?" someone asked. "Even identical twins can be clearly distinguished. Then what are the fields of application?" "The demand is virtually explosive. It can be used in highly secure locations such as research institutes, military facilities, computer centers, and power plants, as well as banks, financial institutions, immigration control, and e-commerce." Agent Yang Dae was busily moving about, trying to grasp the current state of security companies that had recently come under investigation due to the Jiang director case. After walking around and observing various booths, Yang Dae stepped in and asked a question. "Is the outlook for the global security industry promising?" According to specialized research institutions, the global security industry is expected to reach around $501 billion by 2030, approximately 715 trillion won in Korean currency. And what about the biometric security field specifically? The biometric security system market alone is projected to reach about $95 billion, roughly 137 trillion won. Competition to dominate the global market is expected to be extremely fierce. The staff member explained kindly. Yongdae moved diligently from booth to booth, jotting down notes in his notebook. Wow, if the biometric security market alone is worth 137 trillion won, this is going to be a brutal battlefield. He nodded, visibly impressed. Next, there was a presentation on vein recognition systems. Other systems were introduced as well: voice print analysis, various PowerPoint presentations, and detailed images displayed on the screen. Members of the audience whispered among themselves, nodding in amazement. Crowds overflowed around every booth. People gasped in surprise as they watched one demonstration after another. Near the VIP room inside BEXCO, security officers in black suits were inspecting the belongings of suspicious individuals. Assistant Manager Kim from the customer support office came downstairs, and the staff member who had received the flower pot delivery earlier asked him, "Did you sign for the quick service delivery of the 3-tier flower pot earlier?" "What 3-tier flower pot?" "Everything has already arrived. The decorative ice sculpture came too. There shouldn't be anything else coming." It went up quite a while ago." "Did you meet him or not?" "I haven't met anyone." "What 3-tier flower pot are you talking about?" "Wait, what the hell is going on here?" In that instant, the security officer sensed that something had gone terribly wrong. He immediately radioed headquarters to report a potential emergency situation. "If the quick service delivery man is spotted, apprehend him immediately. Confirm current location of the quick service delivery man." "Copy that." "Confirmed. Request all floors to rescreen immediately." Security officers could be seen moving quickly throughout the vast BEXCO complex to conduct an urgent search. Inside a restroom at BEXCO, the chairman of the Security Equipment Inspection Committee was taking care of personal business. Kang-min, a former high-ranking officer who had once served in the National Intelligence Service. At that moment, a man entered the restroom, with an event pamphlet tucked under his arm. It was Hyena, but with latex disguise covering his face, no one could recognize him. The man casually glanced around to see if anyone else was inside, and quietly waited for the right moment. Kang-min tensed briefly, then relaxed again and continued what he was doing. After washing his face, he pulled out a hand towel to dry himself. At that instant, Hyena lunged forward, wrapping his arm around Kang-min's neck and clamping a hand over his mouth. Kang-min twisted violently, resisting and fighting back. A fierce struggle broke out inside the restroom, pushing, shoving, crashing into walls. For a moment, it seemed evenly matched. But Hyena, a trained North Korean special operative, quickly overpowered him. He pulled out a pen-shaped poison needle and drove it deep into Kang-min's exposed neck. Drip. A single drop of blood fell to the floor. Unable to resist any further, Kang-min collapsed helplessly. Hyena grabbed him from behind and dragged his limp body toward one of the toilet stalls. As he was dragged across the floor, a thin trail of blood smeared behind his shoes. Hyena shoved him inside a stall and locked the door from within. He looked down at the motionless body, then quickly peeled off the latex mask from his face. With a light leap, he vaulted over the top of the partition and exited the stall. A few minutes later, another male visitor hurried into the restroom. He noticed the broken sink but shrugged it off and used the urinal. He spotted faint traces of blood on the floor, tilted his head in confusion, and left without thinking much of it. Soon after, a janitor entered with cleaning supplies. Seeing the bloodstains on the floor, she casually wiped them away with a mop. She clicked her tongue at the cracked sink in the corner. No matter how much money they spend replacing sinks and fixtures, people just get drunk, smash things, puke all over them. Some idiots even wash their hair in here. Tisk tisk. If this were their own house, would they act like that? Muttering to herself, she began cleaning each stall one by one. Then she noticed something strange. A pair of shoes sticking out from beneath one of the stall doors. She screamed in terror and ran out of the restroom. Outside BEXCO, an ambulance with flashing lights rushed to the entrance. Emergency carts pushed through the crowd at full speed. Paramedics in orange uniforms moved frantically, while security officers struggled to maintain order. At the exit, police officers had begun urgent ID checks. Amid the chaos, a man carrying a black 007 briefcase quietly tried to slip away. At a glance, he bore a striking resemblance to Hyena. "Excuse me, sir. Just a moment," a police officer called out from behind. The man pretended not to hear and quickened his pace. "Hey, stop right there." Officers sprinted after him. "Catch him. Stop that man." The suspect, who looked eerily like Hyena from behind, burst through the revolving glass doors on the first floor and disappeared into the crowd. Police chased after him at full speed. A passerby was knocked down in the commotion. The man shoved over a fruit cart, hurled a trash can aside, and resisted wildly. He pushed people out of his way and darted through narrow alleys between buildings. After a long chase, "Damn it, this is bad." He reached a dead end. The walls were too steep to climb. Cornered, he fought back desperately to avoid capture. Then, from the far end of the alley, a police officer appeared with a pistol raised. "Freeze. One more move and you'll regret it." "Hey. What the hell? I didn't do anything. Shut up and put your hands up." Suddenly, the suspect pulled out a knife and lunged. The officer tightened his grip on the gun, ready to fire at any second. "Drop the knife. Drop it, you son of a bitch," a seasoned detective shouted from behind. More police reinforcements were rushing in. The suspect's legs began to wobble. In an instant, he was tackled and overpowered. Captured. Breathing hard, the officers surrounded him. With a gun still trained on him, one officer barked an order. "Open the bag. Now. Open it." Episode 30 ends here. At the Biometric Security Equipment Expo in Busan, BEXCO, Hyena infiltrated using a latex disguise. Kang-min, a former high-ranking NIS agent and chairman of the Security Equipment Inspection Committee, was assassinated in the restroom with Hyena's poison needle. A suspicious man fleeing BEXCO was chased by police and cornered in a dead-end alley. "Open it. Quickly. Open it now. What's inside the briefcase? Is he really Hyena?" Beauty Spy War is based on Scorpio, a finalist in the second Proud Korean Screenplay competition. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe and like. Thank you for listening.